GTA 5, one of the most anticipated titles of the year, a game talked about by most of the gaming world, the next new iteration in Rockstar's finest franchise. Does it hold up or not? Is it the gift of the gaming messiah or an overhyped title? Is our trip in Los Santos something to look forward to? Is it game of the year or even the generation? Find out in Some Ordinary Review as we review Grand Theft Auto 5. Now first off, we're going to start on a somewhat tiered review scale. We're going to take a look at graphics, story, gameplay, the negatives, conclusion, and whatnot.
The loot. Actually, fuck the loot. Let's dry dock him. The world thinks you're dead, genius. Soon you'll be with me. Who the fuck is this? Terminate him! Close this problem right now!
Yeah, I can use a little backup here.
In terms of graphics, Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the best open-world games I've seen on consoles. The lighting is brilliant, the cars look amazing, character models look nice, and overall, it's just a treat to look at, as well as impressive to look at considering the scope of the game's world and size itself. From these sun-soaked bike rides on Vespucci Beach to flying over Los Santos at night, it's one of the best-looking games I've played this generation. But that's not without its faults though. Mostly technical, however, due to the fact that it is running on ancient hardware. You will see some occasional texture streaming and pop-in, and that may be dependent on whether you have a physical or digital copy of the game. This was running on a digital, copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation 3 console. Another thing to talk about is the interior. So this is something that really surprised me. This game has some of the most detailed interiors I've seen in an open world game. They're really detailed to look at in this game compared to Grand Theft Auto 4. And it's not like we haven't seen this in GTA games or other open world games before you, but in this game, every interior that you go to is really multifaceted. There's many. The map layout it doesn't feel like it has a lot of repetition as some other games do. There's a lot of rooms to go into or different areas. There's a lot of places to tackle, and it really feels like you're playing some linear type of Max Payne 3 game with multiple interior layouts rather than just going to building and just fighting inside this static area. So in that aspect, Grand Theft Auto 5 is some of the best visuals and some of the best map design I've seen in GTA. It really feels like they crafted Los Santos down to the finest little detail. So in that respect, Grand Theft Auto 5 really shines.
Whew, cheers.
So that's that, right?
I hope so.
Grand Theft Auto 5 has one of the best stories in a Grand Theft Auto game I've played. And one of the best stories really this generation. This is clearly the most ambitious game Rockstar has developed, for not just the story angle, but for every angle. This game utilizes not one, but 3 playable protagonists in the game. We have Michael, a retired bank robber, struggling to keep his family together and ultimately brought back into the life of crime with some bad decisions that he has made. Franklin, a gangbanger looking to make it big, ultimately teams up with Michael, and they soon develop this father-son relationship, with young Franklin learning the ropes. And then there's Trevor, the crazy meth dealer living out in the desert picking fights with everyone in Blaine County and afar. Throughout the course of this game, they all meet up and begin to help each other in doing several heists, each getting progressively more intense as the game goes on. You'll begin to love these characters, and you'll even hate them as the game goes on, depending on who you are. But if one thing is certain, is that this form of storytelling, this multi-character storytelling really works in Grand Theft Auto. It gives you a more grandiose look at the tale through everyone's eyes rather than just one static character. You begin to see everyone's relationship to one another, and ultimately, it just makes the game a lot more bigger. Now, GTA 5's story holds up from the very beginning all the way to the very end, and when that time comes, you won't even want it to end just yet. It's that awesome, trust me. The missions are all varied, and none of them I felt as if they were monotonous. Like I was going, point A, doing this objective, going back. The character switching, when available during the mission, was also really cool because when you switch between them, you can use their multiple abilities and arsenals protecting one another. Ultimately, in the end, the story is brilliant in this game. It's ambitious, and Rockstar has really nailed the crime story in this. You will enjoy it.
For the last time, move it.
Hey, get the fuck out my face.
Oh.
You forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them.
Now, when it comes to gameplay, everything feels refined. That's really the word I can use here. The shooting feels like Max Payne 3. Safe to say, it is very awesome. The driving is now more accessible, but it still retains that simulation-like feeling from Grand Theft Auto 4 in ample dosage. The melee system is infinitely more useful compared to the previous outing. Even though you may not use it as much or even at all, the activities are nice. Tennis and golf, surprisingly, are very fun to play. They don't feel tacked on, and they feel somewhat like their own game, to be honest. Like, you can just get into those games and just keep playing that in one, sitting of Grand Theft Auto. And really, in general, the controls have just been nailed in this game. I always feel like I'm in max precision with my characters when doing anything, whether it be driving, shooting, melee combat, anything. The cover system works without fault, and in my total experience as I was playing this game, the cover system has not failed me. Anytime I was running forward to something, I hit the button, character ran up, took cover, that was really it. That was amazing. And the feeling in general, it makes this game so much more fun to play. Unlike Grand Theft Auto 4's somewhat, sluggish controls in a manner, there was delays here and there in combat and, taking cover at times or, even driving. I wasn't, a big hater when it came to driving, but some people hate it. It's a love-hate thing. Now, the main highlights for this game are the heists and the character switching in the game. First off, the heists are simply amazing. You'll be robbing banks of various magnitudes and even breaking into government buildings. It's simply some of the best stuff ever, and it really puts the theft in Grand Theft Auto. The planning phase, which allows you to make your own heist, is a little more hyped than it is. Really, you pick 2 choices and that's it. What really changes, though, is, gathering things like masks, cars, and weapons. And sometimes these choices really don't matter in the actual heist. When the entry and getaway doesn't really change. It's pretty much the same thing, just 1 or 2 lines of dialogue or changed around character models, whatever. But for some heists, though, it does make a difference. And it kind of sucks, though, when you look at it. It's not uniform throughout the whole game, this level of difference, but overall, it's really cool when this stuff happens, when you can switch between both, and you'll definitely want to replay these heists more than once. They're that amazing, trust me. The second edition, again, which I mentioned before, is the character switching. In certain missions and in heists, you can switch between characters to use alternate vantage points, back each other up, perform different aspects of the heist and missions in real time. It's really cool, and it may seem weird to do it in theory when you look at it through gameplay, but when you're actually doing it in-game, oh man, it's awesome and it's very fluid. The characters all have their own, abilities. Michael can slow down time when shooting, aka bullet time. Franklin can slow down time when driving. Pro tip, this is perfect for drive-by missions. If anytime you find it hard and you're playing as Franklin, just go into the special ability and start firing at things. Trevor can go into this rage mode and just destroy everything in his path in violent pools of blood. That is a little overpowered, but it's Trevor, come on. Now these are useful during missions, but in general use as I was going around the game world when not doing missions, I mostly used Franklin's ability to slow down speed when driving and get that, precise handling. And then I used Trevor's rage ability, when I was just gunning people down in the open world. And finally, the least used ability was Michael's bullet time. I just wish you could use this while you were driving as well. It just seems like one of those abilities that should be used across everything. I really didn't use it on foot as much. Now the gameplay is rock solid in Grand Theft Auto 5. The controls are exceptional, they feel precise, like I said before. The character switching adds depth to the mission, and the various minigames and shops around Los Santos makes it feel more vibrant and lively than any other GTA games. There is so much to do and buy in this game. Money is really necessary in the game too, so make sure you have a lot of it. There's a lot of things to buy. You can upgrade cars, buy cars, there's tons of stuff to buy on the internet. The internet in this game is vastly improved too. You can buy stocks, you can do all this stuff. It's really amazing. They really went above and beyond. I mean, compared to GTA 4 where you got hundreds and thousands of dollars, but all you did was buy guns, in this game you can buy a lot more. So, in terms of gameplay, Grand Theft Auto's really nailed it there.
Who's that cagey motherfucker, huh? No, it's another cagey motherfucker, alright? Not you!
Hey, T, enough with the faux political bullshit!
Now, despite all this praise, Grand Theft Auto does have its faults, although minor. The technical work with the open world is dismissible. When looking at the scope of the game's world, you can forget things like texture streaming and pop-in because you have to understand, this game is pushing next generation limits, it really is. And all the things you can do in it, when you look at that, you can sort of dismiss that. What I really have an issue with is the earning of money. You need money in Grand Theft Auto 5, there's no doubt. There's property in this game, and the most expensive I've seen it go is $150 million for the golf course. Not to mention all the stuff you can buy on the in-game internet, like tanks and whatnot. Maybe I haven't looked around all that much, but I wish there were more activities to help make more money. Yeah, you can invest in the stock market, but I wish I could just rob banks in single player. Besides making, chump change at sticking up liquor stores and whatnot, or making the occasional $1,000 at a stock market. Maybe it's because I don't know how to play stocks in the game, but I wish there was more, I wish there was a more varied approach. Yeah, you can rob money trucks, but they really don't pay all that much, to be honest. Again, you can just play stocks. Especially not in the millions of dollars needed to purchase some of the really cool things. I wish there was just more things to do. These current events to make money, as far as what I've seen in the game, they don't earn as much as I really want them to be able to buy a lot more things, like a tank. I just wish, considering it's a Grand Theft Auto game, I could, actually rob banks or, do more lucrative robberies in the open world by myself. Maybe call up some friends to help me with it, set up a heist in the single player instead of doing a story mission heist. Some features in older Grand Theft Autos like Chinatown Wars, such as the drug dealing minigame, I feel should have returned to characters like Franklin or Trevor, at least due to their backgrounds. That would have been a cool way to make money. I wish something from Michael would have been introduced there too. I mean, if they introduced things like this, it would have made the game a lot more better. You could do a lot more activities in it that would, really, a lot more illegal activities, really, rather, I'd want in the game to help me make more money rather than, play the stocks or hold up liquor stores and do whatnot. I just wish there were more lucrative opportunities. Yes, they could come with a risk, but that's what I kind of wanted. But I guess you can't have everything, right?
Now we all know why we're here. We've got a store to take. The plan is simple, elegant. Listen to Lester, pay attention to the information he gives you, and we'll all make a buck. If things go bad, you know the drill.
In the end, GTA 5 is a game that a lot of people will like. It's a game I urge you to go try for the storyline at least, or just to get the experience of it. It's a fun game with a lot to do. It has some brilliant writing and voice work and some of the best characters and cast in Grand Theft Auto history. The feeling of camaraderie is there, and the tension in the middle of heists is always high. It's really one of the best games this generation I've played, and if this is the direction Grand Theft Auto is headed, then I'm off to pre-order the next iteration. Despite its minute faults, overall it's a brilliant package for anyone who owns an Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, and with Grand Theft Auto Online, it's only getting better and better. I hate number scales, but in the end, I'd have to give Grand Theft Auto 5 a 9.8 out of 10. That's a really good review score, okay? Don't kill me because I didn't give it a 10 out of 10. It's got its little faults and some gameplay elements that should have retained or should have been implemented in the game because of its nature or the characters. But in the end, it is a brilliant and exceptional game. Repetition there. This is me, Mudahar, and this has been the first Some Ordinary Review. And if you like what you saw, then like, comment, and subscribe. This is me, Mudahar, and I'm out.